You don't have a hard copy.
The arrest is still there.
February 1.
Yeah.
Oh,
December 20th, 2023, regular planning board meetings for order at 6:33 p.m. This is to advise that the notice of the time, the location, and extend on agenda of the project meeting was promptly posted in a public place reserved for such a similar announcement on December 12th, 2023. And transmitted to the Times, potentially packet and West Windsor paper and news on December 12th, 2023. And filed with the township clerk on December 12th, 2023.
Mr. Patel. Mr. Lavero. Mr. Chiquetel. Mr. Pancove,
Yes.
Mr. Begg. Ms. Bari. Ms. Applegate. Councilwoman Jeevers. Mayor Marate.
Yes. Affordable housing.
Minutes written has been resolved with a staff member agreeing to do this on a trial basis. The administration which would extend the affordable housing for another 30 years. Right now, there's 7 years remaining on the current agreement. Our consultant, Frank Piazza, said his office is going to go online for the older properties. The committee will continue to reach out to our local state elected representatives to urge them to pass legislation to adopt mold standards for rental housing. There are state standards for mold standards for commercial buildings, but not rental housing. For unresponsive landlords, tenants can go to the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs, landlord tenant information, or seeking legal advice regarding your rights. Lastly, the committee was informed that the Haven House project will continue to have the units as affordable, but it will not be limited to young unmarried mothers. The administration is reviewing the situation, which involves home front.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, at this point, I'd like to open it up to the public for any comments, limited to 3 minutes on non-agenda, non-application items. Okay, seeing none. First order of business is the minutes from November 1st, 2023. Any amendments? If you have any of those, that was please given to Cindy to correct. But anything of substance or missing information, please pick up. Anybody?
motion to approve the November 1st minutes.
Second,
Please call the roll. For those, I guess anybody who's here that can vote.
Councilwoman Jeevers.
yes.
Vice Chairman Huberman.
Yes,
Chairman Clark.
Yes. Okay, next order is minutes for December 6th, 2023. Do I have any of the corrections, non-typo?
Just page 3, it might be a typo, but let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, where it says Kristen Epstein, 11 Madison Drive. In the second line, and she is not opposed to the school purchasing the property. It should be, she is not opposed to the West Windsor, the WW, let's say, not opposed to the WWP school district purchasing the property.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes for December 6th, 2023.
As amended, I'll make a motion.
Linda
To
makes a
approve.
motion to approve. Next order of business, resolution 23-45, Orange Step LLC, cleaning your final major site plan, 15 Cranberry Road, the rear of that, blocks 5, lot 19, and
This is a resolution memorialization. You approved.
thank you. Are there any changes, amendments, or clarifications that are necessary for this resolution?
That resolution was not included in my pack.
They weren't ready at the packet mailing time.
Okay, ready on file.
So moved.
Second,
Call the roll.
Mr. Pancove,
Yes.
Ms. Jevers,
yes,
Mayor Marate,
Yes.
Next order of business, resolution PB 19-08 amended the towns of West Windsor, also formerly known as Heritage Village. Amended final site plan and subdivision 2044 Old Trenton Road, blocks 28, lots 15.02, 15.03, and 21.01. Council.
Mr. Chairman, this is the Hobdanian development that's going to take place on the Princeton Heightstown Road, right at the border of the township of the East Windsor. They had come in for a revised plan. You approved that on the November 1st. And it was really a minor adjustment to allow them to have two-way ingress and egress with the adjacent housing development in East Windsor. So it was really a minor adjustment, and all the conditions are reflected in there that your experts recommended.
Okay, thank you. Any changes, anything?
If I remember correctly, it was originally approved with a one-way road, and the amendment is for a two-way road.
Correct.
That's correct.
Yeah, you're right.
I'll entertain a motion to approve resolution PB 23-09. I'm sorry, PB 19-08 amended.
Second.
Motion by Linda, second by Curtis. Yes. Motion carries. Next order of business. Application PB 23-09, Market Fair, South End Improvements, minus site plan and sign waivers. 3535 US Route 1, block 7.15, lot 14.04. Property is zoned B2.
And Mr. Letitia is here, is prepared to present his application.
Okay, thank you. Hi, good evening.
Hello, good evening. For the record, Tom Letizia, attorney with Troutman Pepper Hamilton Sanders, representing, and this is a long name for an ownership, Teachers Insurance and Annuity Association of America, for the benefit of its separate real estate account. That's actually on the deed. in case- but commonly known as Teachers, or TIAA. And Teachers is the owner of the property, which is the subject of tonight's application. The end of the mall that faces Meadow Road. And I'm sure Market Fair is familiar to everyone here. It was developed together with the adjacent office building as a planned commercial development during the 1980s. The property is identified as lot 14.04 and block 7.15 on the tax map. It is located at 3535 Route 1 and is within the B2 neighborhood center business zoning district, which permits the use. Market Fair has been a successful commercial establishment of West Windsor's economy for over 3 decades, because it has not stood still, but rather has evolved to improve and meet the new demands from customers. In late 2022, Teachers hired Centennial as the new manager of Market Fair with the objective to elevate the shopping center experience for customers. This vision includes recruiting of contemporary retail tenants and enhancing the food and beverage offerings at the mall. Plan is the present application that will bring the Eddie V's restaurant to West Windsor to be of the mall. The restaurant will have its own external entrance along with signage. In addition, to activate and energize the south end of Market Fair and attract tenants and which will be located to the right of the Eddie V's restaurant. And although the board does not review internal building changes, it is important to point out that this project includes a renovated inside corridor accessed from the new mall entrance, which will provide an interior entrance to the Eddie V's restaurant, as well as access to other stores. This application is variance-free. While it might appear that impervious coverage is increasing, the mall had banked impervious coverage left over from the last approval in 2021. And that is what is being used as part of this project. Our engineer will provide details on this particular topic. The proposed new signage for the south end, in our opinion, is attractive and necessary for the continued success of the mall. The new mall entrance signs consist of a market fair sign and an M medallion sign, which are boulevard, we believe is appropriate for those traveling from that direction. A medallion sign at the new mall entrance. The last two waivers relate to the Eddie V's signage. Also, a waiver from the number of signs. It's the same. We'll be having 2 business signs on the exterior facade facing Meadow Road. You may recall if you were, and while we thought a waiver might not be, therefore we're here tonight to get a similar waiver for Eddie, as opposed to 2 feet, which is what's allowed under your ordinance. Again, in connection with the prior EMS application, you did allow the EMS letters to be 4 feet. And we believe, given the distance of the restaurant with this application, I wasn't planning on going through them because I agree with your engineer's recommendations in that regard. In terms of the review reports that we received from Mr. Guzik, Mr. Novak, Mr. Dobromilski, any issues with the comments in those reports? As of me, I'll ask others to begin the presentation. I didn't quite hear that, Mr. Carter.
We'd like to swear both.
Do it at the same time, sure. Thank you. Yeah.
Gentlemen, do you swear the testimony you're about to give is truth? And when you testify, please introduce yourself and give us your background.
I'm sorry, state your name and what you're here for.
Frank Russo, I'm the architect.
Okay.
Okay, well, thank you for allowing us to present tonight. Again, my name is Frank Russo, Geographic Discipline Leader for Colliers Engineering and Design based out of Philadelphia, architect for this project and the 2 or 3 renovations prior at this location. Long history with the project, so it's very relevant and appropriate to be here tonight.
Mr. Chair, we're going to be referring to a set of slides, total of 10. I think it might be easier with just smartphone. Presentation A1.
A1.
We'll identify each slide.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. To the east of that, the new concourse entry for the mall. Those elements do not exist today. It's currently the Eastern Mountain Sports. So again, the idea is to create a new access and entry into the mall directly across from the Meadow Road entrance onto the site.
This is an illustrative site plan.
Yeah. So this is basically, and this is basically just illustrative as to the layout, location, and size of the proposed improvements at the south end. And at the top elevation, you can see these are all elevations of the current mall as it stands with the proposed design imposed on that south elevation. You can see if you pan over a little bit to the right towards the eastern edge is the existing Seasons 52 restaurant. The proposed entry in between the proposed Eddie V's. So it's existing restaurant, new entry, and the Eddie V's entrance and building. The idea, obviously, from a scale, color, material perspective is very consistent with the entire mall as it stands today, with the new entrance providing that visual relief between the two restaurant tenants, which are very different and diverse in their own character. Again, relief and visibility into the new concourse for the mall.
Okay. Excuse me, can you point to where the new entrance is? I think it's
It's, you can see the glazed and there's a market fair sign. If we blow that up a little bit, I'll go to a larger detail. But basically you can see it's, the idea is that it's a very open, visually transparent entrance.
That elevation and on, it's in our packet, it's sheet 2.
Yeah.
It's got the 2 really long elevations on it.
Yes.
If I'm having trouble understanding why in both of these elevations, Eddie V's is on the far right side. Because on the second of the elevations, the lower one, I'm looking from Canal Point Boulevard.
Top elevation.
Yeah. Where is that view?
Yeah, that's a section. You can see in the center there.
You're doing
that's
it
the
as a section?
through the entries. That's
Okay, so
called
it's
the
a
feeder
section
entry.
view. It's not an elevation view.
Well, the entry, it's an elevation, but a section fronts that are right adjacent to that entrance.
No, I get it. I get it now. I just couldn't make sense of it before. Thank you
Yeah,
for the explanation.
Yeah, depth perception. But again, here's the, and this is the side elevation, viewed from Canal Point Road. You can see the colors, and we'll go into more detail, but the colors of that facade that you saw on the south side wrap around to really activate that. And this is an enlarged elevation of that area, focusing primarily. So the proposed entrance, what you see here is a new mall entrance. You can see there's a large amount of glass. Again, all the new tenants that will be along the new concourse that we're building. The facade materials themselves, you can see the light tan colored metal, the glazing, and the dark mullions of the windows. Again, creating a more modern aesthetic that currently exists at the mall. Transformation after the entrance. The signage that you see on the canopy and the blade sign were previously approved, I believe it's 2 years ago. Just now applying it to the new aesthetic for this entrance. You can see there's a new vestibule, which sits proud of the existing face of wall, landscaping, and 3 new access doors into the mall. The materials themselves, again, as I stated before, we have an exhibit, which is new, but a material board of all the proposed materials for the entrance, which again is complementary to the rest of the mall. Adding for the canopy structure, the window system, stone, which is currently on some of the existing entries, the oyster color for the mall entrance.
Do you have lighter pictures of this? Because this was in our packet and
Yeah,
everything looks very dark.
yeah, we'll go to, that's for the
They have something.
the Eddie V entrance or the Eddie V's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just all very dark.
Yeah, we have that in here. So let's go down one sheet. And let me just talk about the signage real quick. Again, this signage was previously approved. We're showing dimensionally that's canopy signage, which spells out market fair based on the previously approved type signage size. The colors are consistent with what was previously approved as well. The only difference is that we're taking that element on the other entries and creating a blade sign to increase the visibility and directionality when people are driving on the site for visual mounted.
Oh, okay.
So you can see that sign behind you, the Township of West Windsor. So looking at the front elevation on the left, you don't see it because it's straight on, it's thin, but here's the side elevations where how you see that M projecting off the wall, which again helps visually identify that as you're driving around the site, as opposed to just seeing it flat.
Okay, and how big is that again? I'm sorry.
Go to the next sheet, you can see there, we have the diameter on there. 3'9" diameter.
I have a question about this new mall entrance.
Yes.
Are you doing anything to the current mall entrances other than this one? Because this one doesn't, current ones that would be upgraded so
Yeah,
that
that's-
they look similar to this one?
That's what the intention is. Like, this is the first phase of a multi-phase renovation that we're proposing. Because the original entrances that are on the mall now, or at this point, I think I testified about them, probably like
Anything that you're talking,
that we're trying to create for the entrances.
okay.
And they know that the Burgess Associates, for planning consultant. About 5 years ago, they submitted a, application plan design waiver. So they have proposed new building signage, tenant identification signs. That was approved maybe a year or two ago, we were still in the senior center at that time. So the signs that are proposed near the market there and match the other that are market there and sign that were proposed on the other ends as well. So they had to begin the process of getting those approvals that year or two ago. It's a very long and boring. I'm sure it'd be exciting stuff.
So
Signage,
we
my
gonna
favorite.
see, like more of these very dark colors
Yeah.
going all the way around the mall eventually, or?
That, I mean, that's for the new entrance. I mean, there may be some variation, but I think the stone that you see on that example is on the current entrances as they stand. The color of the signage has changed, a more modern, contemporary, more timely. But as far as lighting, so the lighting on this, because there's such a grand lighting, which will shine through. So there's no exterior lighting with the exception to those 3 downlights, which are required by code for egress. One more. This one here, yeah. With materials finishes along with the landscape for the entire area, that whole corner of the site. The Eddie V's, again, the materials, very complimentary, pass this around in a second as well. It's basically at the lower part where you see that gray, it's a large format porcelain tile. The upper portion, the entrance element, which is a synthetic. Across the board, you can see that both the new mall entry and the Eddie V's entry breaks the line of the cornice very slightly, just to accentuate the entrance points into each establishment. There's 15 lights, downlights and uplights across the building. You can see them in the little dots, but in that perspective and rendering that I'll share in a second, that'll show it in a little more detail. The idea is to activate the facade in a way that accentuates the building. It shows that it's a new element, and the features themselves, you know, every Eddie V's restaurant, and I think there's 33 across the board, is unique and different. The entrance by the overhang, there is one tree that we are taking down and relocating because it's too close to the building. It's been deemed not sickly, but it needs to go away. So, and it will be relocated, and Kevin will speak to that on his site plan. There's 3 bushes in the right-hand corner because for the restaurant, permeable concrete in sort of shown as a light tan color. So you can see
On the
the
restaurant?
slots, the slotted windows, they're faux windows. You see the gray vertical lines in the Eddie V portion. And we'll show, yeah, so the lighting gives the effect of windows.
Well, I don't know, for security, sometimes it's nice to look outside and
Yeah, I mean,
see what the weather is, what's going on, or.
Houses don't have a lot of windows.
Yeah.
You know, they're very internal.
I mean, there's a whole.
But I was like, by example, let's go to the other side. Ruth Chris. I don't think Ruth Chris has windows. That, you know, and you know, a Ruth Chris Steakhouse is because of the same type of customer they're going after. Is a very internal environment. Morton's is a very internal environment when it comes to a steakhouse. And so I can understand the clients, I mean, this person's approach in doing it that way. Again, Linda, it might not be preferential, but I get it.
Can I ask you a question? Do the other 32 locations have windows or they're all like this?
They all vary. So every location is unique, right? So in some cases where maybe they took over an old restaurant that had windows, they work with that. In this case, obviously, with Eastern Mountain Sport, there was no windows,
Right.
so to put those faux windows, so it looks like windows and glazing from the exterior, accentuating with the up and down lights, gives that effect, but at the same time, it works with what's currently, there.
Can you help me get oriented? Where is the Eastern Mountain Sports current sign? Where would that be on this,
So basically right in the center of the new entrance and the proposed EDV entrance, right where it says EDVs, that's pretty much where the Eastern Mountain Sports entrance is.
okay,
And their
the
sign.
sign was over to the kind of left on the facade.
Yeah,
Is that kind of where the Eddie V's entrance is, that where it has a green?
yeah, no, the current entrance for Eastern Mountain Sports is to the right, almost where it says the EDV signage.
Okay,
It's basically in that
so
location.
that's closed off and the new entrance is where they.
It's built to the left, yeah. And the idea is to create enough separation between, obviously the mall entrance, the restaurant entrance,
Right.
but it also works with their layout, because again, every restaurant is unique. It has a unique layout, a unique, because of the site constraints as well.
I have no preference, windows or not windows. If people don't like to go to a restaurant without windows, they won't go.
Yeah.
So that,
And by comparison, Bahama Breeze around the corner, I don't think they've got hardly any windows to the exterior.
in the
Am I right? Bahama Breeze.
Yeah, I mean, it's a much different concept.
I know, but I'm saying in terms of, no, it is correct, but in terms of
Yeah.
exterior windows, I don't think they.
Yeah, I mean,
The front area, we could sit by the bar.
yeah,
somewhere
there's like
there,
the
there's some-
outside,
there's some
sort
windows
of
there.
bar area.
Okay.
Again, every concept is different. This, again, the mid-century, think of the mid-century modern supper club from back in the day. Again, it's very focused on, they want you looking at this beautiful piece of fish that they're serving you as opposed to the traffic going by outside. Every concept is different. This, I think, works because of the constraints, right? There's a building with no windows other than the entrance, and we're just relocating that.
Linda, this is not a house. People go there for 3 hours. As Mike said, if you don't like it, don't go.
Frank, maybe you hit this earlier and you went really fast, but can you talk about the actual illumination of the Eddie V's logo? Is it?
Yeah, so let's go to the next.
lit
sheet
from
down,
within or-
which speaks to the signage. So the sign, the Eddie V signage. You can see the colors to the right-hand side, illuminated channel letter. Signage, going back to that, there's two signs, one's proposed for the south facade. And then on the western facade, smaller, I think it's 7 feet wide, 7'4"
Oh.
in width, and that sits over that canopy.
Oh, there it
entrance,
is.
So when people are
Okay.
getting dropped off, they know where the entrance is. The lighting, if you can, so I'm gonna,
Questions on it?
Well,
Where you
the
said it was
first
dark?
one is really
The top photo, the Cherry Hill Mall photo, it looks like, oh, Texas, the Preston Ridge, Plano, Texas, looks like it's, these are away from the wall and it's lit from.
slide down, these are well, keep two more. So here's that, again, looking from as your canopy that projects out. But again, it's all that illuminated signage, with the tile that's on that board that's going around.
Yeah.
Here's that view from the mall, looking, or the mall entrance, looking that way. The one other thing, and you can see where that person is illustrated, we have 5 bollards that line the sidewalk to provide some illumination on the walking surface. And obviously the densely populated landscape to really beautify and solidify that corner element for the mall.
Over the,
Standing, but vertical letters, similar to the Market
It's
Fair
like this.
mall sign, the Market Fair sign that is on our.
Like
proposed
Cherry
mall
Hill.
entrance.
Look at the Cherry Hill one on the top.
What are the signs of the,
I don't know. if we have that information.
yeah, the old ones were pretty big. I asked.
Yeah. Back and there was one, but it was maybe larger. So the proposed signage that we have here does fit within those, what was approved previously.
Well, I'll say that voting on that.
Yeah.
So, when I see that sign, that old Vietnam sign, it bothers me every time.
Because of like the density of the letter, like,
Because it fills up that whole facade and
Yeah.
it's so large. I think.
I didn't see that.
It looks like.
Okay.
yeah, for each, yeah.
Each per side, all right, so I estimated. Google Earth, we proposed are 86 square.
Yeah.
So the Eastern Mountain sign, the one that's on the facade, Eastern Mountain Sport, how big is that thing? That fills up the whole facade.
It's huge in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's over, that's 144. Yeah.
Okay, that makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah.
Probably bigger than that.
Yeah.
I looked at it. This is what it looks like.
Yeah,
Right?
it's.
That's kind of overwhelming there a little bit. It's pretty
too big.
It's too big.
I admit I made a mistake.
That was dimension wise.
And
More
it's
flop.
size slightly bigger than that,
Yeah.
it's not, it looks terrible. Yeah.
Like this signage, like, you know, the cursiveness, you know, it's more like,
Location.
No, I think
don't know.
that, I don't know if the entire chain filed bankruptcy, but.
When did they leave?
So Michael, to take your, yeah,
Times 16, so about.
That's 80.
80 feet.
Yeah.
See, it's different because it fits on the facade,
I get
and
it.
the sports
Yeah.
stacked up on each other and across it, it's a long name and, I don't know, my size, I guess it didn't help them, so size does not matter.
yeah, it's 86.67 feet, I believe.
You don't see it.
The season's 52.
You go,
How is this gonna work with all the restaurants? They're getting 3 signs. There's
Each.
it's this big and then right over here, it's like this big. It kind of.
yeah, background, in this case, that black ephes with the,
Sign
yeah,
versus
Eastern Mountain Sports,
It's-
right,
It's,
right.
yeah, yeah.
it's definitely, you know, doesn't take up the whole facade, it's smaller.
Is this something you're gonna keep coming back to the board as you redo the, you know, the exterior of the mall and? So we starting a trend here?
Look, at this time, so another tenant meeting like within the mall itself, or if we're taking
The outside,
over,
yeah.
you know, if Tommy's went out of business tomorrow and
Well,
another tenant.
Corner Bakery is gone. There will be a future tenant there eventually.
yeah.
Will you come before us with that signage package?
I assume if it's required, we would, yeah.
Does that make, would they, Sam? Okay, okay, so there,
Yeah, 'cause
that answers the question.
So every-
Right.
Unless you want any sign on your business, you have to come. and-
No, you're right, Michael.
The unique aspects of the, in the building, the near right of way. So, right of way, so it doesn't matter what side, if that side is 400 plus feet, because that corner of the building is that close, they're locked into those regulations. And that includes, maximum area of square feet, letter height of 2 feet, and a linear frontage of like 20%.
One thing I give Market Fair a lot of credit for is your AMC monument sign, that it's not a sign listing the features at all 10 theaters.
Mhm.
You know, like remember when there were first multiplexes, you probably remember going down the highway and you see these major big signs listing every movie in every theater in the multiplex. AMC has not gone that route, and I give you guys credit for just, okay, AMC's here, you know, go to the website and you just look it up.
Yeah.
So I give you guys them credit for that.
Yeah, I think for some reason all theaters have done that. On Route 1 also, the one in South Brunswick, they removed the sign which showed.
Well, I mean, the old days of a multiplex, you'd have these humongous signs for announcing every movie that they were playing.
They don't have to hire the guy that changes the letters. on it.
Yeah, with the stick, yeah.
Save a lot of money. Okay.
Yeah, so,
I mean, you know,
yeah, so both signs are the same size, so we just looked at it on the other sheet, it's just, I think in this side, because of how the building is like an inside corner. Like it looks larger than on the flat surface, but they're both the same size, as per the previous sheet and set.
Yeah,
It looks a little big on the
the sign
side.
on the side here, right, that's the same size, it's 80 square feet.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
And, that faces Meadow Road, right? No, that faces Canal Point Boulevard.
Yeah, that's Canal Point.
I guess, I don't know, the Beckley Lights Village, because there's houses over in that direction, I don't know if they're shielded, there's no houses there.
Yeah, we looked, yeah,
Well, Fran asked me someone. Can you swear, Fran? Please?
Oh, Fran, you swear to testimony about to give us truth.
Do. Music Township Engineer Board. That'd be so remote that there wouldn't be, you'd be able to read the sign, but it wouldn't cause any glare.
And the signs and all the different businesses, even could you,
No, it would be the AD lights.
just this one.
Yeah,
But,
I think they offered that, right?
yeah, but
an hour or so later, once, again, staff's cleaning up, what have you, but. Yeah, we'd love to keep them on all night, but again, if that's a condition. Turn them off at an hour or so afterwards and.
I'm just, my struggle is that every other business has lights on. And sometimes, I'm just looking out here. I'm just one opinion. In that. After hours, people driving by, they're wandering around, they see, oh, Eddie V. I didn't know that, and let me, next time I'm in the area, I'm gonna come east. If the light is turned off, they wouldn't see it.
I did think of that, I like your idea, so I rescind my.
I'm
It's marketing for them.
It's a market.
It's marketing. That's what it's
Okay.
advertisement for them.
I hear you, I'm just saying, if every light in the mall went off on every facade business sign. I would have no problem with this light being turned off too, let the whole mall be dark, after 11 o'clock. But that's not the case to it, but
They're,
just my opinion.
I don't think they're agreeing to turning off all their lights, they just.
The housing is more
Woodmont.
towards
Woodmont.
this end than,
How
than
about
say
we-
Tommy's Tavern.
It's just a compromise, the one facing Canal Point Boulevard, turn that one off and leave the other one on. Fine, I don't know Eddie V's, Eddie V's moved in, when did that happen? Well, there's a nice little sign there, I'm gonna check it out next time I'm in the air. I'm paying devil.
The glass panel above the entrance and the up lights over the faux windows. Do those stay on?
It's new business.
Regarding the lighting now,
And it's not near any residents, right?
I would say that the nearest residence would probably be approximately
No.
544 feet, and it's through trees as well.
At Woodmont or Canal Point? Right?
Canal Point,
Okay.
Woodmont,
So there are a lot of lights on the street between this and Woodmont.
nah.
I mean, that whole corner.
You're right.
is lighted.
Or along the street lights,
On
yeah.
the street.
Yeah.
And that street lighting is on,
There's a traffic signal.
so I like the opinion on this too, so
Okay, so,
tis the season.
my view is, I think the light should be kept on. It's my view. If you need, nobody agrees with me, we can vote on it. Can I get 3 out of 5?
Yeah, I side with Michael on this one.
We got 2, then you're a third.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, the nearest 3, it's good, 3 to 2.
I'm not saying you should go off, I'm just saying that one on the left, that one.
Nobody.
If you keep the other two open, it's like, wait,
44 feet away. Nobody's.
I just don't know if we'll get any complaints.
They want to spend money with them.
So if I have my telescope,
And if I recall, the way that the building is configured, there is that bump out where it's almost sort of shielded by the building itself.
right,
So if you go to the last side, for instance,
yeah,
where most of the residential properties have.
right, and they face directly with the sign, 3 votes to just leave the lights on.
There are lots of lights and trees on Canal Point, nobody is going to see that.
Energy,
Yeah, I definitely appreciate it, because I think it does make for that better, more vibrant center, which is the intention.
Right, people driving by, it could be. Okay, I'm convinced.
Very convincing.
Thank you.
Question about the architecture or finishes, and I think. a great try to.
All having great.
Kevin Brothel, Princeton Junction Engineering. Licensed, professional engineer. Okay, 4 of 5 on the site plan, the minor site. I'd like to lead off by saying we're gonna modify the parking area in front of the entrances. Due to the extension of the entrances, it made it difficult to meet the ADA requirements for slope. So we're actually gonna raise the curb line there and kind of blend everything in so we meet that requirement for ADA. We're doing a slight modification to the parking area. As you see there, the existing handicap parking stalls. The access to those stalls, by putting the aisle in the center of that island and have it cross more directly towards the entrances that way. We'll cut the curb, make a path through that island. Now, as a result, we need to reduce the standing parking stalls there, and we're allowed is 410. With that said, we're also not, the circulation pattern through that area will not change. That's not changing, and anything outside that, some of the walkways, the net increase would be 513 square feet. And in the previous application, with the modification of the standard solid compact stalls, we had a bank of 732 square feet. So this would leave a remaining about 219 square feet of banked area for any future coverage. So as part of this also is that we're going to install a grease interceptor up. It's up on the western side of the Edmonton restaurant and with a monitoring pit. This results in that one shrub there you see up by the corner there. That is being relocated from its original spot and going to be moved to that corner to make room for that interceptor, grease interceptor. And also as a result, as mentioned, we're going to remove the one tree in the front, and we're going to relocate that across the parking area and place it between the grass area, the landscape area between the loop road and this parking.
That's a huge.
It's a new tree. It's not relocated. It's a new tree.
Can I ask you a question on that?
Sure.
In Chief Lynch's report, he mentions trees and not too close to the building to allow for emergency vehicles, so. Not seeing exactly where this tree is going or.
Well, the new tree would be,
in the building.
it's going to be, oh, no, it's going to go across the parking area.
Okay, so then it shouldn't, interfere with it.
That's correct. And I think the landscaping that's proposed is low lying and it's not going to interfere.
Just want to make sure that, because that's the one thing you mentioned regarding access to emergency vehicles.
Right. On the tree, I mentioned that. And all the new walkways, as mentioned, will be of course nature. So of course concrete, of course pavers, as required by the ordinance. All the roof, the proposed canopy roof areas will all connect into the existing roof drain. We're not doing a whole.
Just a quick question, first, the lighting of the signage that we were discussing before. That's standard lighting and spillage and stuff is consistent with the rest of the center?
Yeah, so the lighting within the signage itself is LED lighting, so it's low energy usage. This is with the rest of the.
And the brightness of projection,
Yeah.
illumination, and it's similar to let's say a season 52 sign, or
Yeah, as far as it's not, yeah.
it's not like double the brightness.
So that complete.
Into the record. So then our landscape architect had two comments. First one was that plan will have no impact upon community forest or tree resources of the project. And that,
Background information on what's being proposed, waivers regarding signage, which the applicant has agreed that the design, I would agree, is less dense than what was previously approved as well. And the applicant, unless people have questions for me.
and, did you have any conditions, David?
I had the one condition regarding the hours of operation for the lighting, but I have been persuaded. Because it is distance, it is quite a distance away, and I did look at some of the street views as well, so it really won't be that visible from the right of way. No other conditions necessary for my memo at this time.
Already mentioned in your testimony that hydrant locations will not be changed. The tree that you, and during construction, fire lanes and access must be maintained. You have no problem with that?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So that concludes Chief Lynch's, memo. Okay, Fran, you're up.
Okay, good evening. We prepared a memorandum of December 12th, 2023, under the first section. Some of the submission waivers, there was the third bullet about a partial waiver just for completeness determination, and based on the exhibit you saw, it appears that with the resubmission of plans for resolution compliance, that the grading information that's needed will be provided. So that seems to be addressed. The fourth bullet about the information for the fire chief, as you just read into the record, Chief Lynch is not needing that information, so therefore there's no objection to granting that waiver. Next comment basically confirms what Mr. Brockle had talked about with regard to the banked impervious, and that even with the proposed improvements, there'll still be another 219 square feet of remaining banked for future projects at Market Fair. The one thing I did ask in comment 103 was just confirming that with some of the exterior improvements, that there's no outdoor dining proposed for the location. I don't think that was discussed by the applicant. If there was.
no house.
Okay.
So,
Right. Thank you.
Do any of the other restaurants have outdoor dining?
Tommy's does.
No, I'm talking about Eddie V's.
Any other ADVs?
That I don't have that. I don't know, the answer to that question.
Okay, I'm just kind of surprised if you're gonna have a new restaurant, and with what happened with COVID and a lot of people are doing outside dining, I'm just surprised that your applicant doesn't want it.
oh, it's a big place.
Yeah.
Number one, number two, there's no, in this location.
Right, yeah.
Right.
So you do it near, just the canopy up in the parking lot and move the table up and get done.
Put some heaters out.
You live through it.
Don't give them any ideas, Mr.
Yeah.
Chairman.
So other than that, just to conclude the memo, is the last comment would be the one recommended condition about based on the increased in wastewater usage and the conversion from retail to restaurant would require a treatment works approval from the state, as well as allocation from the council and approval of Stony Brook Regional Sewerage Authority. So that would be the one
You're okay
condition.
with what you're gonna have to get that.
We have.
Right.
And any other conditions Fran mentions, you're okay with, everything in Fran's minutes? All right?
Okay. Yes.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay, and anybody have any questions?
I'm just curious because this new restaurant is going to be in a existing mall with.
Steakhouse and.
So there are other restaurants don't offer lunch, they only offer dinner.
No, like, see, all the LEDs.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Okay, just curious.
Garden owns the restaurant, the other restaurant, so.
I
just see I just see a good crowd over there at lunch sometimes.
in other restaurants there, and I just.
Well, when they.
Opens at 4
Yeah,
p.m.
No, he means open.
When you finish renovation. Yeah, any other questions? Okay. I'll open it up to the public to accept the microphone. And don't rush up. And ask your questions now. I don't see any questions. I don't see any public. Okay, so I'll entertain motion to close the public hearing.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Okay, moved by Simon, second by Linda, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, public hearing is closed. Okay. Talk amongst yourself here. Have any questions, any things you want to talk about? On the application.
No, it's just, there's 3 signs, right? My only concern was that this sign on the side there seemed big.
Okay.
We didn't like the EMS sign and it just seems like this is
No,
awfully big. It's,
80 square feet versus 144. What?
60.
B versus 3 east, it's gonna appear smaller. I think, I don't know, board members, the same and one, this
The
is.
two wall signs are the same, canopy signs.
It's much smaller, yeah.
Yeah.
And that just says Eddie V's, not Eddie V's Prime.
Correct.
So the 2 signs you're talking about are 60 square
80
feet less.
square feet, yeah, 60 square feet less. And you gotta remember. That the second line is Prime Seafood is small,
Right.
you know, Eddie V's is the same size as like one of, you know, the.
310 half.
One line of Easton. It's much smaller. And I think the one on the side of Indy you're talking about, on the Eastern Mountain Sports, the work they get the side and that front. I don't know, just again, my opinion, the board members please weigh in if you also agree or disagree. Okay. Okay, okay, let's move on from that. Anything else that we need to talk about? Any questions for the applicant? We're not sure of any clarity. And. Okay.
no, it's just with the color combinations, it's nice if we could get a lot of color in the landscaping and for different seasons too. You know, that'll take away that.
When you say landscaping, you talk about,
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty. That's probably
that's all new, that
more
landscaping?
summer.
Okay, so how about a condition if you work with Dan Dolmansky, our landscape architect, to come up with some kind of nice landscaping, is that gonna be a problem?
No, I think he already reviewed it. We have
Okay, so he has,
Yeah, I'm just saying, it looks, I mean, looks nice.
okay,
But you know, when you go from summer to the fall, there are some plants that change colors from green to reds or
I don't know, it
orange.
looks like they're gonna leave green all year.
If you go to the landscape plan itself, you see there's a variety of. So all the species that are listed there, pines, there's annuals, mixture of, you know, obviously some of the existing shrubs that are there. But all new, so again, there's a variety, and that's the intention is that there's.
Right, because you want to get that curb appeal.
Okay, so.
If people go into this restaurant are spending a lot of money, you want to have that wow factor.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, and that's, again, it's all, you can sort of play that off of the sod, and really does make perfect sense, it's my opinion. For that corner of that wall, as you enter on the study.
The Chilean sea bass is gonna be the wow factor.
I had the fried calamari, got a good reviews there.
Okay, so any other questions? No, okay. Let's take a motion to approve PB 23-09 with all conditions. Enumerated.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Okay, motion by Simon, second by Curtis, please call the roll.
Mr. Pancove,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jeevers,
Yes,
Mayor Marate,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Hoberman.
Yes.
Chairman Carp.
Yes. Application approved.
Our next meeting is January 17th, that meeting, and starting next year, it'll be the first and third Wednesdays only.
Sounds good.
And what's on the agenda of the 17th?
Is reorganization.
No, no, but the applicants, the application.
No applicant, the Dutch Neck planning.
That's next that night. Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
2 minutes.
look at it. Look at that.
He said 8 o'clock.
Good. You know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they said